Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a ranked game. This is my 5th and final placement match. If you're playing Teamfight Tactics for the first time here in set 2, you have to do 5 placement matches, and this is the last one. This is going to take place on an ocean board. The last video I put up on my channel also took place on an ocean board, but rest assured we're going to have a different team composition in this game. I would like to run the Ocean Mage setup. I've been having a ton of success running Ocean Mage, but it's going to be a different comp in this game. We in fact are going to be running a Predators setup in this game, and it's going to be an unusual Predators game. Normally when you run a Predators comp, you end up running a composition that's pretty heavily focused on Kog'maw as a champion, but this is going to be the game of the 1-star Predator comp Kog'maw. Alright, more on that in a minute. So let's talk about the initial carousel. You always want to notice first what the particular elements of that board is. This is going to be an ocean map. Like I said, I've been playing Ocean Mage with a lot of success, and I was planning on going into that in this game as well. I thought that there was no needlessly large rod on the initial carousel, and so that's why I grabbed the Skarner, because I was like, well, if there's no needlessly large rod, I'll grab a tier instead. But as it turned out, there was a needlessly large rod. And it was on a Thresh, which would have been a really good pick for an Ocean Mage type setup. But instead I've got the Skarner, and I've got a tier. So I look at this initial board, and it is a total whiff as far as playing an Ocean Mage type setup goes. So I'm going to grab the Kog'Maw, and then I'll grab a Renekton and Diana, because they're just kind of generically strong one-cost champs. The other options are Nasus Vayne, which would be going into a light composition, which I feel is not terribly strong in this patch version. It might be different by the time you see this. This video is recorded in patch 9.23. By the time you guys watch this, patch 9.24 might be out. We'll have to see. I'm not exactly sure when the patch is going to be posted, but this was played on 9.23, and we'll see how things are different in the new patch. So this video, it's going to end up focusing on Skarner a fair amount. Skarner is not seen as being a particularly strong champion. People who are running the Predator comps generally don't focus on Skarner very much. I've seen some of the tier lists have him listed as kind of like one of the worst of the Predator champs. The Predator champs, if you're not familiar, are Kog'Maw and Warwick and Skarner and Rek'Sai. Those are the 4, and you tend to see Skarner emphasized the least out of those champions. But I've already gotten 2 Skarners thus far, and he's going to end up being an important part of this video, as you guys are going to see. Alright, as far as what we're been getting from the minions thus far, so I got the initial tier when I really wanted needlessly large rod, but whatever. And aside from that, I've gotten a Giant's Belt and I've gotten another tier. So double tier would make a Seraph's Embrace, which isn't really a great item for the champs I've got here. Instead, I could look to put the well, I'm going to make the 2-star Skarner here. I could look to put the Giant's Belt on Skarner, and in fact, that's what I'm going to do, just because that'll make Redemption, and that's a really handy early game item. So if you are unfamiliar with Redemption, basically when your champ gets low on health, a big area of effect heal drops down from above. The official text here says that 30% health heal all nearby allies for 1200 HP. Can be really strong in the early game when champs don't have a lot of health. And if you saw there at the I didn't get any items from the 3rd minion round, but I did get double Rek'Sai, so I was like, alright, the game really seems to want me to play a Predator comp here, because I've got Skarner 2-star, and I've got the Kog'Maw, and I've got a Rek'Sai, and I've got a Warwick. It seems like the game wants me to play Predators. Furthermore, I'm looking at the other comps here. I was very confident I would win this first round, so I just look at the other champs. It's like, alright, only one other person seems to be running Predator, so it looks like this is a pretty good game for Predator. As much as I'd like to play Ocean Mage, I have just really missed on mages across the board. I've gotten almost nothing. I found 1 Talia, but I found no Ocean champs and 1 Talia. This really doesn't look like a very good game for playing Ocean Mage. I'm just going to get destroyed if I try to play that in this comp. If I try to force it too hard and it's not there, it's not going to go well. And furthermore, I actually have gone ahead and gotten a Diana 2-star, so I'm going to go ahead and look to level. I'm going to put her in, so I now have my 3 Predator champs, and then I've got a random Diana 2-star unit. And I think that this is strong enough for me to win the initial opening rounds. This is a pretty good start right here. So I have not found the comp I was looking for, but I found something else that feels pretty decent overall. And I actually kind of make the decision here. If I win this round, I'll pick up another Talia, but otherwise I'm leaving the Talia on the board, which signals I'm kind of going away from the whole Ocean Mage kind of setup that I played in other games, and which I featured in the last video. So, one of the reasons why Skarner works pretty well as far as a champ to hold Redemption is he gets a shield when he gets low. When he fills up his mana bar, he gets a shield. So like right there, he's going to shield himself, and that allows time for the Redemption to go off. Really nicely timed Redemption. just gives a ton of health back to Skarner, puts him right back to full health. So I think I would have won that round anyway, but it was a lot less close, and it's always nice to win rounds that are not close, because you deal more damage to the other person, and that's the whole goal, right? Is to knock the other players out of the game. Now here, I'm going to randomly make a Renekton 2-star, and I'm like, alright, so Renekton, again, does not fit this composition. He is not Predator, he's Desert Berserker. I am very unlikely to go into Desert or Berserker for this particular game, but I've made my decision right now. I'm not going to play Ocean Mage, I'm not going to pick up the Vlad, I've sold the Talias. We're going to play Predators. So there's basically two main variations that you can do with Predators. I mean, there's more than that, but there's kind of like two main variations you go. Every Predator comp wants to go into Poison eventually, so eventually we'll want to pick up like Singed and either Twitch or Mundo to pair with Kog'Maw. So we're going to go Poison late game. But in order to get there, there's kind of some other options. One way is to look to go the Glacial route, and like that's what Derwin is doing here. He's running a lot of Glacial champs. By the way, Redemption, once again, super clutch, keeps Skarner from dying. So one thing you can do is go the Glacial route. Like I have Braum sitting on my bench, I have Warwick sitting on my bench. You can try to stack other champs like them, and then you would go into like Olaf as one of your late game carries. The alternative route is to pair the Rek'Sai with the Nocturne. Nocturne picks up Steel, and then with the Nocturne you then go into Assassins. And since I already have the 2-star Diana, that feels like the better option here. So I'm going to hold the Glacial champs on my bench for right now, in case I would get a lot of Glacial champs. But I'm more leaning towards playing Predator and then going into Assassins, with late game being Poison. And that offers a lot of opportunities for you there. So it's my turn to pick here on the carousel. I have max health, I've won all 3 rounds, but I actually get to pick relatively early because 2 other people also have max health, so one of us has to go in the 3rd picking rotation, and this time it's me. I go ahead and grab the Brawler's Glove, and this is actually a mistake. I had the Tear on my bench, and I was like, oh cool, Tear, I'll use that to make an Iceborne Gauntlet, which will be really good to make my Skarner super tanky. Well, yeah, see the problem is Iceborne Gauntlet is Chain Vest plus Tear. The Brawler's Glove plus Tear is Hand of Justice, which is not a bad item, but it doesn't necessarily fit all that well with my composition here. So I was like, whoops. Well, I'll go ahead, since I'm at 14 gold, I can spend 4 gold, can get to level 5, get my 2-star Renekton in. This will keep me from going underneath 10 gold, so I'll still have a decent amount in the bank. I can get that little bit of income coming in. And I am on a 3-match winning streak, so I'd like to keep that win streak intact. And so I am going to go ahead and pick up the other Skarner, because why not? Pick up another Renekton, because why not? And then I sell my Glacial champs because I want to get back up to that 10 gold. So it's a little bit risky to do this because I'm dropping all my Glacial champs. But we'll see. By the way, once again, super clutch on the Redemption. Without Redemption, I definitely 100% do not win this fight. But it takes a fight that looks like I was about to lose, turns it into a winning fight, and I end up defeating Running Jamaican to extend my win streak. So what I have done thus far is I have dipped into my econ. I've leveled twice, and spending 8 gold early on 2 level ups is pretty significant. Like, that does cut into my income. I could be up at like 25 gold right now instead. And I do have a fair number of champs on my bench too, right? Like, I've got 6 champs on my bench. That is money that is not going into my econ either. But, you know, I think it's worthwhile to hold on to the Skarners, because why the heck not? I've already found 5 Skarners. I do want a 2-star Rek'Sai. I want to get Nocturne in so I can make Steel in the near future. Here I am looking at the other champs, other team comps. I'm seeing a lot of Woodland Druid, a fair amount of Glacial, and again, still only 1 person running Predator, which is good news for me. I also pick up the Mundo because I'm going to want to go into Poison eventually with this team comp. If I find Mundo and Twitch early on, I might be able to run Poison at an earlier date as opposed to later. Once again, here it looks like I'm in trouble, but then Renekton gets his ult off. Renekton, seen as being very overpowered in this patch, 9.23, has probably been nerfed by the time that you've watched this video. And thanks to a really nice spinning slash, I'm able to win that round as well. So I've managed to win all 5 of the initial rounds, and that's just a great start. So like I said, I ate into my economy to do that, but I made back a lot of the money that I spent by winning, by getting that win streak. Again, you do get 1 gold every time you win a round, and you start accruing the extra interest once you get up to like multiple rounds won in a row. So I think it was worthwhile to do that. If you can level to put in other strong units, like I leveled to put in a 2-star Diana, I leveled to put in a 2-star Renekton, I think it was pretty worthwhile to do that. And I'd love to see this win streak continue. But it is going to be harder after this round because a lot of people are going to be spending gold and leveling up, and I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to try to econ to higher levels because I've got all this health banked, and if I can keep this health banked, I can kind of trade some health for some economy. And that's what I need to do right now because, like I said, I do want to get up to 50 gold income as soon as possible. Now, as far as items here, you can see I've picked up the Needlessly Large Rod. I can make Luden's Echo here, which is a very good item on Cog, especially in a Predator's comp. The problem is my Cog is really weak. He's a little 1-star unit, so he's really not the focus of this composition at all. It's much more focused on like the Skarner and the Renekton and the Diana. So instead of investing my items on Cog, and by the way, someone's already level 6, which is like, what? I mean, I guess I could do that, but I don't want to eat into my economy that much. I'd rather try to make it through at least this round with the 30 gold instead of spending it down. So I'm going to go ahead and make Hand of Justice instead on Diana. This is a pretty good item on Diana. So Hand of Justice, on round start, you either gain 50% damage, that's both physical attacks and spells, or 50% extra life on hit until end of round. So it's pretty good on Diana, and I can probably transfer that over to another Assassin champ later in the game. It looks like she has picked up the extra damage, not the life on hit here. So anyway, it looks like I'm winning this round right up until that Renekton gets off his spinning slash. It's like, oh boy, 2-star Renekton, yeah. Really strong champ. So like he's about to die, but then he gets up his spinning slash, he heals right back up to full. He has the Morellonomicon, so he is going to get the burn effect on my champions, and he's got the Phantom Dancer, so he's dodging all critical strikes. This is one of the most popular builds here in this particular patch. Just take Renekton and a whole bunch of like 1-star Woodland Druid champs and just try to 3-star them. Put defensive items on the Renekton, and he becomes really almost unkillable. Like, he was only 2-star there. If he gets up to 3-star, you can see he's going to be really almost unkillable. So the board gives me 2 more Skarners there. I'm like, alright, I'm up to 7 Skarners now. And I have a Nico, so literally, if I find 1 more Skarner, I can make 3-star Skarner here. Since I lost that last round, though, I'm a little bit concerned with losing too much health, so I am going to level to 6. I spend the, I think it was 12 gold to do that. Drop down to just 22 gold, so I'm being, again, kind of greedy here. But it's going to allow me to put Nocturne in, and that'll get Steel in play. I'm up against Bessemer Iron, who's only level 5. Now, he does have a lot of Predator champs. And right here, watch, you're going to see, I look like I'm in good shape here, but then, oh, that Rek'Sai ultimate just completely does so much true damage and just eats right through my team. So I end up losing that round as well, which is not great. Economically, I'm in better shape. I think long-term, I'll be able to do better than that Bessemer Iron team because he was only level 5 and only had 10 gold saved up. He was obviously re-rolling for a lot of 2-star units. I would really like to see Bessemer Iron get knocked out because he's the other person running Predator, and he looks like he's going for hyper-rolling, so the sooner he can get out of the game, the better it is for me. What I want to do right now is I'm just trying to level as fast as possible. I'm trying to build up my economy. I want to get up to 50 gold so I can make that max income. I am not confident I'm going to win these rounds, but I'm hoping I can win at least a few of them. And like, I'm willing to trade some health for some economy right here. I want to get up to level 7 and then to level 8 as fast as possible. I want to find some of those 5+ champions. Also right here, we do not get redemption in time to save Skarner, but we do get it in time to save Renekton and to save the Rek'Sai. So even though this round gets pretty close, once again, the redemption is clutch, does save a couple of my units. And that has been the key item of the game so far, because without redemption, I am not winning these rounds, and that's allowing me to be very greedy here in terms of econ. I have not re-rolled even one time, and I'm just playing what I've been given by the game and making use of like the items I'm getting, the champions I'm getting, and just trying to avoid re-rolling because I'm trying to level ASAP. Like I said, I'm trying to trade some health for some economy right now. Okay, so we've got another carousel. I am going to pick on the 3rd rotation once again. So there, I might want to go for that Nocturne, but instead I opt to go for the Yorick instead. And the reason for that is I want the item that Yorick is carrying. He's got the Giant's Belt. I have a Needlessly Large Rod sitting on the bench there. So Needlessly Large Rod plus Giant's Belt. That makes Morellonomicon. Very, very strong item. You want this on pretty much any kind of casting champion in the late game because it's got that big, big healing debuff and burn effect. And having seen this Morellonomicon, we already saw it was on a Renekton before. I'm like, well, that seems like a good idea. Why don't we go ahead and put this on Renekton? And the logic to this is the Morellonomicon is for Singed later on. This is a comp that's going to go into Poison. Singed is amazing with Morellonomicon. He runs around the entire map, poisoning everybody and burning everybody. So it's going to go on Singed eventually. Renekton can perfectly hold this item for right now, though, because Renekton's going to come out of this composition later on. So he can hold the Morellonomicon. He can get off that Spinning Slash, like AoE healing debuff, So he's not a bad person to hold it. Like, we already saw someone else using it to good effect with their Renekton. Now, unfortunately, Derwin here is running a Glacial comp, and he's just getting ridiculous freezes. Just like every single one of his auto attacks is freezing. Like, way out of proportion to what he probably should have been getting. So yeah, he actually ends up defeating me, and it doesn't look like it's close, but I actually think he was pretty lucky with the Glacial freezes. He was running Glacial 4, I believe there. I think he had Glacial 4, and that's only 35% chance to stun, but he was getting like stun after stun after stun. Maybe that's just sour grapes, but I do think he was getting a little bit lucky. So not going as well here on the second rotation through. Like I said, I won all 5 of the initial rounds. I've lost 3 of the 4 thus far, but I just really do not want to spend right now. Like, I don't really have another champ that I would put in. Like, I could level to 7, but like, what would I put in right now? Instead, I just want to make it through this one more enemy champion round that'll get me to the wolves, that'll get me to another minion round, and then I can go to 7 after that. And if I need to reroll, I can try to find something else to put into this composition. But that's the whole goal here. Unfortunately, I'm up against Rennie Jamaican, who's #1 in health and is on a big winning streak. But this is going to be another round where you're going to see the power of that redemption. So, like, look, Skarner's getting low, but he gets his shield off, and oh, Skarner back to full health. Renekton back to full health. Rek'Sai back to full health. Meanwhile, Diana has that life on hit from the Hand of Justice. She is healing in the back line. We managed to kill off that Nico, who's really the carry on running Jamaican's team comp. And Renekton, watch, is going to get off that spinning slash. There we go. Healing debuff is going to cut into that Druid health regen. So we are, in fact, going to win this. I was a little surprised. I actually thought I would lose that round at the start of it, but the redemption was perfectly timed. And so I end up winning 2 out of the 5 rounds in that second rotation, and that was kind of the danger period for me because, like I said, I wasn't really spending to make my team stronger. I was mostly just sitting there stacking gold for that whole round, all 5 of those rounds. And now, because a lot of the other people were spending, they are, they've kind of cut into their economy, whereas I'm in much better shape. I'm at max gold. Very few of the other players were at max gold. I think I saw one other person who was at max gold. But now I can sit here, I can get more income, I'll be able to get to 7 after this level up. Right now I'm thinking about what I want to put in. I would ideally like to get another assassin. I'm 1 away on assassins, like I'm 2 out of 3. Would love to get another assassin so I can make that and get the extra critical strike chance and critical strike damage would be nice. I'm going to get a Soraka here, no. Get some more gold, chain vest, and a giant belt. So we're going to get some big hits here. We're going to get Rek'Sai 2-star. I get another Nocturne, so I'm almost 2-star there. I'm going to reroll. And hey, there's Brand, but I'm not playing Ocean Mage this comp. Sure could have used him in some other ones. So I find Kiana, and I'm like, alright, well that does get me to Assassins, but then I get the big hit. I was like, yes, Zed. This is what I want. I've already got Zed. So instantly, this means my composition's going into a Zed comp. I will be able to make Assassin to buff him up, and if I can find one more Zed, I can use my Nico on him and get Zed 2-star, which would be awesome. And then I also find another Kha'Zix here, so I was like, alright. This is looking good. We've got Assassins to play, so we're going to play Predator, Assassin, and with the Steel as well. So even though I've just got the little 1-star Zed, I am going to get Zed earlier than basically anyone else, and that's very valuable. That particular redemption was kind of a miss, but the Renekton spinning slash was not. He managed to hit pretty much everyone on the enemy team, get the healing debuff on all of them, including on that enemy Renekton, so his spinning slash that followed up was not as strong. Unfortunately, though, it's not quite enough, and so we are still going to lose. But again, look at the situation. This was a loss to El Gerard 21. He was only level 5, I'm level 7, so I am getting access to those 5+ champions, and boom, I find another Zed. So this is lucky to find 2 Zeds this early on. But it's not entirely luck, because I did manage to get to level 7 earlier than anyone else in the game. So I'm getting to see the 5+ units earlier than anyone else. So we're going to use the Nico, we're going to sell the Diana, transfer the items over, and so Zed now is going to have Hand of Justice, red buff. These are not ideal unit items for Zed. Ideally on Zed, you want to get defensive items. Guardian Angel is amazing on him. Redemption is amazing on him because it keeps getting cloned. But these are still pretty good. These are a lot of on-hit effects. So I'm going to have a healing debuff on him from the red buff. I'm going to have the extra damage or alternately extra life on hit from Hand of Justice. And this Zed being 2-star this early is like ridiculous. We are only on round 4-2, and I have a 2-star Zed who is getting the Assassin buff. So he's getting extra critical strike chance and extra critical strike damage. So he is doing absurd damage right now. And this is going to allow me to just sit and econ. So I'm like, all right, I got the 2-star Zed. I just made 2-star Nocturne. I've got a Kha'Zix in there who I'm going to be able to buff up. So yeah, we're looking great right now. Now I can just econ. Now we're going to go to level 8. And that means so like if you saw what I did there, I did re-roll until I got a comp that I thought was pretty strong. And now that I've got the comp that I'm happy with, I'm going to look to Econ again. I want to get up to level 8. And at level 8, I'm not 100% sure what I'd put in. I've got some different options here. I want to work towards poison champs. I want to find Singed. I want to find more Mundos. I could put in Twitched if I don't find them. You can see I've also grabbed Sivir here because Sivir does give me the potential maybe to go into something with Blade Master, depending on what I find. We'll have to see. But, so yeah, just like giving myself more options here. But like Zed, at this stage of the game, Zed is just so strong compared to everyone else. I am just bulldozing through these rounds, and it's really not close at this point. So I am very happy with what I've got here. And of course, I also still have that crystal option as well. So like if I could find Taric, that would make Skarner almost unkillable. So anyway, I lose that initial round, but then I win the next 2 rounds after that. And I'm feeling pretty good about this game right now. I've made it back up into the top 2 as far as health goes, so I'm going to be one of the last ones to pick. That means I'm not going to have a lot of options on what I can build here. So we're going to have to wait and see what's available. Like the spatula would have been nice. Would have given us some more options there. So wait and see. Oh, I think I was hoping I could make maybe Blade Master Nocturne at some point in time down the road. So at this point in time, I was like, oh, cool. Hey, maybe I can make that, get that recurve bow on Syndra. Attack speed seems like it would be good on some of these champions. Oh, I did make a mistake here. I should have put the Zed on the ocean tile. I have no idea why I didn't. Like, Kog'Maw is basically useless. He's only in there for the Predator. So Kog definitely should not be getting that. I should put Zed on the ocean tile so we'll get his clones off faster. There's no reason for him not to be on there, and I believe I never fixed that throughout this entire game. So like sometimes you have to go back and watch what you see on replay. Anyway, El Gerard, he again is running the Woodland Druid plus Renekton. Stay at low levels, just try to 3-star all these units. They've got that one other one other Predator's comp. Bessemer Iron's running it. He has gone into poison. Again, I would love to see Bessemer Iron get knocked out because he's low health, and I want more of those Predator champs, and I want more poison champs. Instead, we're up against Derwin, who's running, again, remember that glacial composition, so it's going to be all about him getting those freezes off. I do lose Skarner early on, but the Redemption saves Renekton, and fortunately my backline is still pretty strong, so now we just have to deal with this Kindred who's hopping around, and even though Zed dies, the Zed clone is still alive. So again, we win that pretty easily, and honestly, as soon as we've made Zed 2, this has turned into a very one-sided match. I've won all of my rounds and won them quite easily. But it's not going to be enough just to win the game off this. I have to continue building my comp. Like, I can probably make top 4 off this regardless, but it's not going to be enough to win. I'm going to need to make more units to actually pull a win off. So here's one thing that helps. I do manage to get Mundo 2-starred, so that's big. Now I just need one other poison champ. I would need... The other thing is so what I will do is I will pull Renekton out of this comp. He's the unit that would come out. So at level 8, I can get Poison in. Ideally, I will find a Singed, and I will be able to pull out Renekton, put the Morellonomicon on Singed, and then put Mundo plus Singed in. And then I can get the Zed plus Singed combo, which is kind of seen as like the extra strong late game setup here. Also a possibility of going into Electric, like if I could find an Electric Lux, I could try to make Electric Core. I could toss in, like at level 9, toss in like an Ornn or a Volibear, and then with Electric Lux, I could maybe make Electric 4-star, which would be awesome. Here, we're going to get a nice Redemption, but it's a little late. Unfortunately, we still have that Renekton to deal with. Get the nice healing debuff from the Hand of Justice, or excuse me, from the red buff, and that is actually going to be enough for us to take this down. I actually thought we were going to lose this, but all those Zed clones doing work. Applying the healing debuff to the champs that want to heal over there. And so yeah, once we made Zed 2-star, we won every single round. So that's why the Volibear is grabbed here, for the potential to get an Electric 2 if I put him in there. The Sivir really doesn't make any sense at this point. I was thinking maybe I could get a Blade Master Nocturne, but it looks like that's not going to happen because I'm not finding any spatulas. So does not seem likely to happen at this point. Anyway, people are starting to get knocked out. You can see Qinlong has already been eliminated. One other thing that I realized I should have done is I should have been grabbing Nocturnes throughout this game. Like, I've actually seen a fair number of Nocturnes. Nocturne 3-star is really, really powerful. So I should have just been stockpiling Nocturnes on my bench. I think I would have had a decent chance of getting into Nocturne 3-star. But I didn't go that route. I was trying to Econ instead. And so, who knows, maybe in retrospect it was better to get the Econ. So, I don't know. We'll see. But in any case, we go through another minion round. I don't pick up the Nocturne, and I'm just looking to level. So here, I'm going to go ahead and level to 8, and I'm going to toss in Mundo. Mundo doesn't make anything, so again, I need to find another poison champ. I don't have either Singed or Twitch right now, so it's not that helpful. And I go ahead and take the items and use it to make Spear of Sojin. There's the Twitch, but I'm a little hesitant to pull out Mundo for Twitch. I don't really want Twitch, I want Singed in this comp. So you see me doing a little bit more re-rolling. I'm going to go ahead and grab Kha'Zix, and I'll grab the extra Zed. That's as far as I'm going to end up going right now. But I didn't really get that much stronger there. Like, I put in the Mundo, but Mundo didn't really make my comp all that much stronger. At least I did get another Kha'Zix. I'm 1 away from Kha'Zix 2-star now. And in fact, Mundo's not really going to do anything in this particular fight against El Gerard, who's also one of the top comps. He's been sitting high on health. He has managed to make a 3-star version of Diana. He's also made a 3-star version of LeBlanc, and he gave a Thief's Glove over to LeBlanc. Unfortunately for me, he's rolled a really nice item for my competition. He randomly rolled a Phantom Dancer, which makes LeBlanc immune to critical strikes, and oh, whoops, I'm running Assassin, so I'm pretty dependent on crits. So I do end up losing around there, and that's a good lesson that I'm actually not invincible, even though I've got the Zed 2-star here. Other people are leveling up, other people are getting stronger compositions. I'm going to need to make a stronger composition as well here. But what I'm looking to do is, again, because I'm first in the game in health, I'm like, alright, I might lose some rounds here, but what I really want to do is I really want to try to get up to level 9. Nobody else is all that close to level 9. I can have a very good odds to find Singed at level 9, so I'm not going to do a bunch of crazy rerolls here. I'm going to look to econ through these next couple rounds. I actually dropped the Mundo for Volibear because Volibear will make Electric 2 for me. And every time you see one of those little flashes of light, that is Electric going off. Now, Electric 2 doesn't do that much damage. It's relatively low, but I mean, I do get a fair amount of critical strikes from Zed, so I do think it was more worthwhile than putting in a Mundo who doesn't actually do anything. So anyway, there we go. We actually are down to just Zed, but we are going to still be able to finish that off and get Super C down to just 9 health. So Super C will get knocked out on the next round. And oh, here we go. There we go. That's what we want. So put Mundo back in. Sell the Renekton. Renekton, you've been great, but it's time to take you out of the comp. And we're going to put in Singe. So there we go. Now we have Poison in play. And like I said, basically everyone, pretty much every, every Predator comp does want to go into Poison in the late game. This is your late game addition to the Predator comp. You want to get either, you want Singe, and then you want either Mundo or Twitch, depending on what else you're running in the comp. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Poison, if you haven't seen this before, Poison is when you get 3 Poison units. When a Poison unit deals damage, target's mana costs go up by 50%. So Poison is very good against any spellcasting comp. And look, running Jamaican here is in fact running a spellcasting comp. He's got that brand with the Spear of Shojin, with the Morellonomicon. So we are debuffing him with the Poison, making it harder for him to recast. And that is enough for us to win. By the way, the Zed, 6,000 damage. And the Singed, even though he's 1 star, did 4,900 damage. So yeah, definitely would not have won that round without picking up the Singed ahead of time. And by the way, don't look now, we're already down to just 4 players. So yeah, already getting tight here. So I am going to be last to pick. However, there are some items I want. I am going to key in on that Iceborne Gauntlet. So I wanted to make Iceborne Gauntlet earlier in the game. Wasn't able to make the Iceborne Gauntlet on Skarner. But I'm going to go ahead and make that now. So it's going to make Skarner very, very, very tanky by putting this on here. So he gets extra dodge chance, and anytime he dodges an attack, it creates that attack speed slow field. And here we're going to find the Kha'Zix 2-star, so that's nice. By the way, look at our comp. Notice the Kog'Maw, still 1 star. I have not found even 1 Kog'Maw the rest of the game. This is just insane, and I've gone back and watched this footage. I have not missed any Kog'Maws. There has literally been 0 Kog'Maws the entire game. It's honestly hard to believe. I have made some mistakes though. Like I said, the Zed should be on the Ocean tile. I also probably should not have made Spear of Shojin on Zed. It's not a great Zed item because it only helps him get his first clone off. It doesn't help him after the first clone is made. Meanwhile, we're up against El Gerard again. El Gerard is the one person who's been beating me. I don't think I've beaten his comp even 1 time throughout this whole match. He just seems to match up well against me, and he's made the Renekton 3-star, which is very scary. And he actually had triple Morellonomicon in play for that round, so I actually lose that and lose it pretty badly, and he's going to go up to, he's going to run his winning streak out to 4 games. So right now, that's the comp I need to beat. I am not confident at this point in time that I'm 100% going to beat him. Meanwhile, I'm going to look to pick up the Taric. Right now, if I were to make it to level 9, I would put in Taric, because Taric would make Crystal 2, and that would make Skarner very difficult to kill. I also still have a decent chance of making the Skarner 3-star. I've been sitting on 7 Skarners for a long, long, long time right now. Meanwhile, these other comps, Derwin is still running his Glacial setup. Let's see, is that who we're going to hit? Alright, so we're going to be up against Derwin here. He's got the 3-star Ezreal and the 3-star Braum. So again, he's largely running that Glacial setup, but we're going to keep applying that poison to a lot of his stuff. I have managed to get in the backlines. I need Zed to split, but ooh, Zed does not manage to get a clone off. And if that happens, I'm going to lose the round, let's be honest. So I would love to be able to take down that Braum just to limit how much damage I'm taking, but yeah, I lose against that as well. And I have not done well against Derwin either. The one person out of these last 4 I keep beating is Running Jamaican. I've actually had very good success against him. I think that's because Running Jamaican is going with the Ocean Mage setup, and I've got Poison, which counters that pretty well. So I lose those last 2 rounds, but the good news is I did have a lot of health banked. So even though I dropped down to 32 health, I'm still in reasonably good shape. I can lose another match or 2 here. Right now I'm checking to see what items the other players are getting. I see that Running Jamaican's going to get a Zephyr. I'm like, really wish I had a Zephyr. That would be nice. Instead I'm going to get a Bomby's Cinder, which is kind of pointless for me. I don't have any Inferno champs. I'm going to go ahead and dump that on Singe, but that's not really going to do a whole lot for me. Still, the good news is I am going to be able to get up to level 9 after this. I have banked enough money, so I will be able to do this. And yeah, and then we'll just have to look and see what we can roll. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can get Tark in here. Tark's ultimate would be amazing if I could get him to survive long enough to get his ult off. So here we go. We'll dump the Bomby Cinder on Singe. And now it's time to reroll and see if we can find something good. So I am going to see Ashe, but she's not really that helpful for me. I've been seeing a ton of Brands, which is like great. The one game I don't need Brands, I'm going to see them. By the way, more Nocturnes, which I've been passing over. More Nocturnes. Another, here I'm finally going to pick them up. But it's like I can't quite decide. I actually drop in oh, but here I get the big hit. I get Singe too, and they get another Zed. I actually make a mistake. I put in the Volibear. That does make electric too, but Tark would be a better choice. And then I sell the Tark, so whoops, that's a bad mistake here. Running Jamaican has got the Ocean Mage comp that I have been running in my recent videos, but again, Poison is the counter to Ocean Mage. He actually gets off a double Tibbers with Annie. He's got a Mage Hat on Annie, and because he did that, I think that's the main reason why he won that round. So, like I said, I've been having success against Running Jamaican, but I lose that round, and now it's like, alright, I'm not in great shape here. I might get eliminated, but hey, I made top 3. And as I've said before, one of the big advantages of banking a lot of health is even if you don't have the best comp, you can sometimes get a great finish. Like, because comps you can't beat get knocked out. Like, I couldn't beat Derwin, but he got knocked out by I think that was by El Gerard there. So again, I'm just re-rolling, blah, 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 re-rolling. I'm like, alright, hopefully I can find something, but I haven't really gotten anything. And then it's like, oh my god! There it is! Crystal Lux and Skarner! That's gonna make Skarner 3! It's like, oh my god! All of a sudden, my comp just gets transformed in an instant. So I should have put in the Tarek. That was a mistake. I should have put in the Tarek before. But now I've just gotten a huge reprieve. I actually thought I was going to run this because I've been losing to El Gerard in every single round. But for whatever reason, this one goes way better. If you look at like Singed almost died but didn't die. Zed almost died but didn't die. He got his clone off. So somewhat surprisingly, I end up winning that round. And that's what I need because I'm going to make the Crystal Lux. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the 3-star Skarner. Finally, after holding all these Skarners the whole game. So I was like, alright, let's take Volibear out. Definitely don't need Volibear. Can drop him. I mean, the electric is nice, but I'm going to put in that Crystal Lux. So now we've made Crystal 2. And so this is going to add Lux's damage, but most importantly, it's going to add Crystal to Skarner. So what does Crystal 2 do? What does Crystal 2 do? Can only take 100 max damage from a single hit. If you can get to Crystal 4, you can only take a maximum of 60 damage from a single hit. So I really, really want to get Tarek into this comp, but I don't see anything I can take out to get Tarek into this comp. Like, I need everything else in here. If I could somehow get a Force of Nature and get up to 10 champs, this would be amazing. I could make Crystal 4. But with Skarner in place, with the Crystal buff, now with with 3-star Skarner with the Crystal buff in place, all of a sudden my comp is just like exploded. Now I'm really strong because that Skarner is basically unkillable. Anyway, we're back to the carousel again, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll just go ahead and take this Giant Slayer. Sure, that feels like it would be good on Kha'Zix. Why not? There's not really any other items to make here. So I'll go ahead and put that on Kha'Zix, and then I can put that recurve bow on Kha'Zix too. Like, hey, why the heck not? So my comp has all of a sudden gotten super duper strong here as a result of getting that Crystal Lux. So was that luck? Well, yes, of course. Obviously getting the Crystal Lux is luck. But that was like the 5th different Lux I had found. So I was hoping to find either electric or crystal, and eventually I did find one. So, like, was it a little bit lucky? Absolutely. But it wasn't just pure luck either. It was also a reflection of being at level 7 early, being at level 9 early, and then rerolling a lot. you know, bending probability in my favor by having a good econ. So we're not going to get to Crystal Lux 2-star this round, but we'll keep that open for the future. And I'm actually going to lock because what? I've actually managed to find the Kog'maw. Another Kog'maw! By the way, how late in the game was that? I also want to mention one thing. If you notice, there is a Zephyr on running Jamaican, but he is literally Zephyr'ing out the weakest unit in my comp. He's Zephyr'ing out the Kog'maw 1-star. I was watching to see where he was putting the Zephyr, and he was never moving that Zephyr. So props to not scouting on the part of running Jamaican. He was Zephyr'ing out a 1-star Cog. And there we go. Hey, looky here. We managed to make 2-star Crystal Lux. Awesome. Now if we could just make a 2-star Kog'maw. I've had a Kog'maw since literally the second round of the game. Very first minion round of the game. And we still have never found more than 2 Kog'Maws. It's just inconceivable, really. So yeah, we're down to the nitty-gritty. There's only 3 champs left. I will be against El Gerard, so I'm trying to watch his comp. I did not feel like I needed to reposition. I was up against running Jamaican last time, so this will be running Gerard. And he was running, again, he's got all these 3-star units, but they're all like 1-cost champs. So this composition, oh, well, he actually did move his Zephyr to hit my Zed. That was smart of him. So like his composition, strong enough to get into the end of the game, so not a bad choice at all. Finishing 3rd is not bad in the least. But he can't beat my composition because he has all those early game units. So yeah, his comp, he's doing that, like I said, he's doing that build, which is like Renekton plus all Woodland Druid units. It's not a bad build because it can pretty reliably get you top 4. Like I said, it's probably going to be nerfed if it hasn't been nerfed already by the time you see this. But it can't beat these late game comps. It can't deal with 2-star Zed. It can't deal with 2-star Sins. They're just way too powerful units. And so that comp falls apart here in the end game against them. I have been seeing this build in like literally every single game. And it's the comp that I've like needed to beat if I wanted to top the game. So gotten a little bit of practice in how to beat this comp, but you really do have to make it to late game. If you can't make it to late game, you can't beat that competition. All right, so we're getting late in the game here. We have a Rift Herald round. The Rift Herald is going to give me another redemption. It's really a shame I don't have an open item slot on Zed. This would be amazing to put on Zed, but of course, I mean, it would be silly to leave an open item slot on Zed for this long. Better to have an item and put it on him earlier than wait until the last possible moment for a perfect item. No reason not to fill up those item slots. So I'm going to put this on Singe just to make Singe even tankier. And at this point, there's not really anything I can do. I can just re-roll for the Kog'Maw, the Kog'Maw 2-star. Will we actually manage to see Cog 2-star here before the end of the game? This is almost certainly going to be the last round. More Luxes. And there he is! Yay! We finally got Kog'Maw 2-starred. A 1-cost unit. It only took 25 rounds and 30 rerolls to find 3 Kog'Maws. Anyway, so once again, I'm watching to see if that Zephyr's going to move. It's not going to move. He's going to Zephyr the Kog'Maw, the single least important unit in this Predator composition. And since I've been pretty reliably beating running Jamaican, I'm pretty confident. Like he's going to get the Tibbers off, but I mean, I'm just killing his backline. Brand is very slow to get his ult off because he's been poisoned. And I think he's only running Ocean 2, not Ocean 4. So yeah, Brand only gets 1 ult off. That's an easy win, and we would have done like 25 damage there because like my entire team composition was alive. So hey, there we go. That's another first place finish, and that's going to be it for this particular game. So now here's the punchline for this video. I mentioned that this was my last placement match as far as ranked goes, right? So here we go. Placement's complete. Bronze 1. So that might sound bad. You're like, oh, you got placed into bronze. Well, getting placed in ranked is a little bit different now than it used to be back in the day. Everybody starts at iron, and then you play your way up. So bronze 1 is the highest you can possibly be at the end of your placement matches. I played 5 placement matches. I won all 5 of my placement matches. That was first. Yeah, I actually don't think I'm that good, but apparently I was doing well in my placement rounds. I actually ran Ocean Mage in 4 out of the 5 of them. And then this was the one game I didn't run Ocean Mage, and I ran this Predators comp, and I still came in first place. So, you know, the competition is not top tier. This is not challenger players. This is not top of the ladder. Again, I'm not making any claim that I'm the world's greatest player at Teamfight Tactics, but it was pretty gratifying to play a Teamfight Tactics game, run a composition that I have not been running, a Predators comp, and then still be able to execute and come in first place regardless. And I think that if you win 5 games in a row, it's not just dumb luck. You're probably doing something right. So couldn't be happier with how these went. And hopefully it's on to silver from here. So, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed getting to see this Predators game with the 1-star Kog'Maw. Definitely made it unique. Until next time, have a great week. See you guys soon. Take care.